Danny Flexen here with two of my old friends and two of the most esteemed boxing writers in the game. Ron Lewis, who's currently freelancing, of course, and Jeff Powell from the Daily Mail. How you doing, guys?
Very good, thank you.
Very good, thanks, Dan.
Glad to hear it. We're here to preview one of the more anticipated fights in the early part of this year, Deontay Wilder against Tyson Fury 2, the big rematch taking place on February the 22nd. And what I want to ask you guys first of all, who do you think will improve more from their first meeting? Ron, we'll go with you first.
Wilder. I think you look back at that first fight. I think Wilder went into that fight desperate not to make the mistakes Klitschko made, and I think because of that, he wasted a lot of punches early on. Didn't really box his way in, and he was able to get counter-punched by Fury through the fight. I think this time you'd imagine they'd have a better strategy this time. So I would expect to see an improvement from Wilder, certainly in the early stages of the fight.
What's your take, Jeff?
Wilder, not quite for the same reason, but I agree with Ron that Wilder will be an improved fighter in this. He was wary of the size, I thought, of Fury. He very rarely fights someone that much bigger than himself, if bigger at all. And I think he didn't commit himself enough to get in the knockout until... let me just take this off, sorry. He didn't commit himself to getting the knockout. He was wary. I think he'll be more confident now that Fury can't hurt him, because he wasn't hurt in the fight. Even when Tyson got a bit more active right in the last half a minute or so. And I think he'll be confident he can take what Tyson throws at him and he'll go for the knockout.
Ron, what do you know about Tyson Fury's new trainer, Javan Sugar Hill, or Sugar Hill Stewart, as I think he prefers to be known these days? And how important or significant a factor is it that he's changed trainers so close to such a crucial fight?
I don't know a huge amount about him, to be honest. I mean, I know the people around, the people backing Tyson are very keen on the fact that Andy Lee's involved as a sort of link man between the two. Obviously, he's known him for a long time, and I think Andy's been involved a lot in sort of organising things. Why he's gone to him, I don't know. I mean, I don't really believe the stuff that he's gone there to try and knock out Wilder, but you know what happened between him and Ben, whether it was a fallback from the last fight, whether it was about money, who knows what it was about. But you know, once you commit to something, you commit to something, and I suppose the advantages of this is it's kind of a bigger team. There's a bigger team, there's more people around, there's more voices sort of in the camp, and you know, Tyson is probably the sort of guy that needs people to spark off, people to sort of inspire him. There is, you know, if he felt he had gone as far as he could with Ben, maybe he needed a new voice. Maybe he needed someone to actually get him training, get him thinking about things. And, you know, sometimes an outside voice is a good one.
And Jeff, which of the two, if they win, is more likely to then unify against Anthony Joshua, should he still have the belts?
I think Wilder is more likely to unify, I think, by virtue of the fact that he can knock anybody out. If AJ is going to fight the way he fought in the rematch with Ruiz, and Fury fights as he normally does, that's not going to be a great spectacle. And you know, do we think that Tyson could win on points? Possibly, maybe, but Joshua's has a more educated jab than Wilder, so it will become a chess match. But I think both of them are in danger of being knocked out by Wilder.
Guys, it's crunch time. Hate to say, but we're going to need a prediction from each of you. Ron, you can go first. Who do you fancy and why?
I kind of fancy Fury on points. I kind of do, but you know, I usually hate predictions more than a week in advance, because it's usually after you see him in fight week. You know, Fury can be such an up and down character. I think that, you know, spot his confidence in fight week. I was very impressed with him before Wilder the first time, more than I expected to be. I was very impressed with him before Klitschko, but he has to be absolutely on it, or he could. But also, the other thing that's burning in my mind is the thought that, looking at the Wallin fight last time, I'm wondering if that last round against Wilder actually took a lot out of Fury. And I think there are a lot. I edge towards Fury, but it's not a really confident prediction at the moment.
That's a qualified pick for Fury from Ron. Jeff, what have you got for us?
Yeah, well, I'll take the small caveat that Ron has. It's difficult to make a final prediction so far ahead of the fight, We need to see exactly what kind of shape Fury's in. He's been sending out these lean green mean machine, Instagrams, which the pictures tend to end about here. There's a lot of pictures of him in hot tubs in Vegas and what have you. Now, I'm sure he's training and I'm sure he's working hard. He's probably the one advantage of getting a new trainer, and the timing is difficult, but he does his own thing and he's unpredictable. But the one advantage is he'll be out to impress his new trainer, whereas probably that's the only thing that's going as a plus for that. Ben, he knew well, he knew everything about him. He had nothing to prove to Ben. He'll be, in his image as a showman, he'll be showing off, so hopefully he's working hard. But I feel, like Ron, that the knockdown in the 12th is a significant factor in the fight. That was a huge, brutal knockdown. Probably was a knockout as well. It was a bit of a long count. And that takes a lot to recover from. Coming into that fight after that psychological damage will be interesting. And it tends to make me think that he'll be edgy about it. And if you're worrying about getting caught, perhaps you will. So at this point in time, if I have to pick at the moment, I'd say Wilder. But I want to see Tyson, see what shape and mood he's in before finally committing to that.
Brilliant, guys. Really appreciate your time. Let's see what happens on the 26th.